No, this song was written with my daughters in mind. I have 4 kids. I have a son named Sam that is 8, a little girl named Gracie that is about to turn 6, a little boy named Charlie who is 4, and a little girl named Sophie who is 20 months old. And you know, the one thing that I've learned as being a parent, which may be shocking to you folks up here, but there's a big difference between boys and girls, I've learned. I mean, a huge difference. For example, with boys, if I upset them, you just kind of kick them around, they'll wag their tail and forgive you in about an hour, 30 seconds really, it doesn't take long. With a girl, there's about a 7-day waiting period before things are made right, I've learned on many occasions. And I wouldn't change it for the world. There's something incredibly special between a father and his daughters. Not to take any away from my sons, but there's just something, I don't know how to explain it, but there's something between a dad and his little girls. And if you're blessed enough to be a father with daughters, I hope you can relate to what I'm talking about. And you know, the one thing I've learned is they're all going to face pressures in life, but there's a certain pressure that girls are going to face that I don't know if guys have to deal with so much. And that's when the world is telling them how to act, how to look, what to eat, what not to eat, and just what you're supposed to be from a materialistic, a physical standpoint. And it's heartbreaking. I can already see it in my 6-year-old watching TV. It's like, oh, I got to have this. I got to do this. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We're getting rid of cable, you know, and I get all freaked out. And I know that when they get a little older and they start to become a teenager, it's going to be pretty bad. And the best advice I was ever given as a father to being a father was that I have to figure out some way to have a louder voice than the rest of the world when it comes to my kids. And I tell my kids every day that they're perfect and that God has an incredible plan for them, and remind them that whatever the world says, they are so much more. And I realized when we finished the song that this isn't a message for a 6-year-old girl. This is a message for little girls, 88-year-old men, whatever. It relates to every single one of us. Because all of us at some point in our life have felt like we're unlovable, that we feel unworthy, that maybe there's something in our life that we think is so terrible that we could never be everything that God actually desires us to be. Now understand, we are absolutely nothing without Christ, and we're pretty filthy, and we have an incredible ability to screw things up. But because of the cross, because of Christ and Christ alone, we have a chance. We have worth. We have value. If you know Christ, then you've been made holy as He is holy. And that is something far greater than whatever the world may say that we are. And there may be some of you tonight that you feel like you've done something so horrendous that there's no way that God, if He ever saw your heart, your whole heart, could ever forgive you. And this is kind of a Sunday school answer, but maybe they're onto something. There's no one that is ever out of the reach of Christ. And then there are those of you that you do everything you're supposed to do right. You think you have this to-do list and you go to church and you play by the rules and you're honest and you're a good person. And I just want you to know that you cannot be shiny and polished enough to earn the grace of God. So I guess we're all kind of in the same boat. We all desperately need Jesus. And if you think you may not fit in that category, you desperately need Jesus. It's the one thing we have in common. Regardless of what church you go to or don't go to, regardless of what issues you stand up for or don't believe in, regardless of the little things that we nag about when it comes to religion, regardless where you stand, every single one of us need Christ. I believe that with all of my heart. Because I know what I was before and I know what I am now. And if anything good comes from me, it's of Jesus. And that's the reason that we leave home. That's the reason that we come out here. Tell our families goodbye for a few days, is because we believe it's a message worth sharing. We believe that there may be a few of you that leave tonight a little bit different than what you were when you came here. We believe that God's going to get His glory through all of this. We believe that nothing is an accident, that you didn't just stumble in here. And so I guess this song is just a simple reminder that there is a God that is so huge that he threw the stars to the night. There is a God that is so incredibly awesome that he and only he tells the sun when to shine. And that same God is madly in love with you. That should blow your stinking mind. And so whether you're a child or a grown-up that is so strapped down because of your pride, whatever it is, just know that regardless what the world says, you are still absolutely beautiful in his eyes.